Right now at noon, a special agent will investigate a house fire in Columbus, Kansas.
Winds continue, plus we see a rain-snow mix moving in later on this evening.
Plus, spring wildflowers are on the way, how the Missouri Department of Conservation is helping people prepare.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
This is KOAM News at noon. I'm Elise Snowy. Now, new at noon today, the Family Resource Center in Pittsburgh cuts the ribbon for its new expanded location. KOAM's Anthony Saviello is at the new center with more. Anthony.
Yeah, Elise, it's a great day for childcare here in Pittsburgh, and that is because the FRC, the Family Resource Center, has cut the ribbon on a new facility. Now, this facility is located just behind Mercy Hospital in Pittsburgh. It will provide for 58 infants and children, and with that, a small percentage of the children that will be taken care of in this facility will be children of the staff and employees at Mercy Hospital. However, it is not exclusive to them. The facility will still provide, for the most part, for children in the community. I spoke with the facility's new director, and as of right now, she says she's just ready to get kids in the building starting next week.
Super excited, super excited. Yes, we've been waiting for this many hours, many days, months, years for the administration and the board. So very super excited. Cannot wait till Monday to get here so we can get those babies and kids and in the doorways.
And of course, I should note that on top of the 58 children that will be taken care of here in this new facility, the Family Resource Center already provides for over 350 children at its other facility in Pittsburgh as well. So expansion, this go around, of course, we'll have more information on this expansion and all the families it will provide for today at 5 and 6. Elise.
All right, looks great, Anthony. Thanks. Now let's head over to meteorologist Lindsay Gaffney for a look at the forecast.
Well, it's overcast skies right now. We're seeing those clouds moving in. Winds are still gusting up to 50 miles per hour, and visibility is dropping just due to a little of that dust blowing around out there. Now, over the next couple of hours, we are going to start to see some rain showers popping in. Winds are out of the west, even pushing northwest, again, up to 50 miles per hour. Now, we were originally in a high or wind advisory for most of us, but now in our central counties, that's including Pittsburgh and Joplin, we're in a high wind warning until 7 p.m. and the rest of us in that wind advisory until 7 p.m. as well. Plus, out in Oklahoma, still dealing with a fire weather warning until 1 p.m. Now you can see overcast skies pushing in. The rain is still held up in Wichita and all the way north of Kansas City. Plus, we see snow chances moving in after that, though not quite hitting our area until closer to 2 p.m. So about another hour and a half to 2 hours before we start to see some rain and snow in our area. But I'm going to have a full forecast coming up.
All right, Lindsay, thanks. Well, at a news conference yesterday afternoon, the Woodson County Director of Emergency Management expressed his gratitude to community members and first responders after Friday's fire, which destroyed the Yates Center Health and Rehab Nursing Home. Now, he cites community efforts which helped contain the fire in less than 12 minutes. Johnny Atkin went on to say all residents of the community are safe and Yates Center is working to rebuild what was lost. Now, you can find more information on the press conference on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. And local authorities request a special agent to investigate a fire that destroyed a Columbus house yesterday morning. The home on Parmenter Avenue in Columbus was engulfed in flames when fire crews arrived around 3:40 yesterday morning. Now, the fire's glow was seen from blocks away, and crews immediately focused on saving the neighboring home as intense winds pushed the fire into it. Now, this image was taken from outside the neighboring house. The house where the fire began is destroyed, but the neighbor's house was saved, and thankfully, no one was hurt.
It turns out it was actually an officer named Officer Hampton. She saved our lives. She went through literal flames to get us to get to the door and start knocking on it. I was the first one to get up, get around. I got to the door, saw the fire, and ran back to notify my family, and we left through the back door. So, yeah.
Now, neighbors say the home that burned had just sold, and Columbus Fire and Rescue expressed thanks for all the agencies who assisted. And families in Manford, Oklahoma are sifting through the rubble to see what can be saved after fires ravaged homes in that town. Naomi Kite spoke with a man who considers himself lucky.
A drive down Birch Drive is an unfortunate sight to see. Look left, piles of rubble that used to be homes, bricks standing tall, but everything else crumbled to the ground. Look right, cars burnt to a crisp, roofs caved in. I counted at least 12 homes burned to the ground on Birch. Aaron Fredrickson lives there and considers himself one of the lucky ones.
A lot of stuff got damaged, but there's still some stuff that got saved, which is good.
He walked me inside his home, one of the few that got burned, but still has walls intact.
When I walked in, it was just smoky in here, and I can hear it crackling in the attic.
He tells me with black soot covering the walls, insulation covering the floors, and a big hole in his ceiling, he can't live there right now, but maybe one day.
I'm just still trying to process it. It's not, it's not something you expect to see.
It's the reality for dozens of homeowners in Manford who are deciding whether to move or rebuild. This is Greenbrier Circle, one of the other hard-hit neighborhoods. I counted at least 10 homes that'll need to be leveled and rebuilt. Emergency officials say 30 to 50 Manford homes burned to the ground, and as the smell of smoke still permeates much of the city, many people I talked with say they're just taking it one day at a time.
It's going to take some time. I've never been through anything like this. So.
In a press conference, Oklahoma Governor Kevin Stitt said 170,000 acres burned during the fires and 203 homes or structures were impacted and one person was killed. And coming up, a bond issue could bring some changes to the Galena School District. And later, we're making ooey gooey butter cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. Well, the Galena, Kansas School District hopes to make some improvements with a $7.5 million bond issue on next month's ballot. KOAM's Melissa Alexis has more.
There are several classrooms in Liberty. When it rains, it does leak through the windows, so new windows would be very beneficial.
Deanne Whited is the librarian with the City of Galena. She used to be the librarian at Liberty Elementary, and she says she's seen firsthand that Galena School District could benefit from a few upgrades, particularly to the gym at Liberty Elementary.
The number one would be the gym. The students go there in the mornings before school starts. Then if the weather is bad, they're in there for recess. The flooring is very uneven. There's mold on the walls. The bleachers definitely need improvement.
If the $7.5 million bond issue on next month's ballot is approved, Liberty Elementary's gym will receive the upgrade that Whited says is much needed. If the bond is approved, the gym will be painted. It'll also get new equipment like scoreboards. They'll also fix the water infiltration issue, and HVAC system improvements will be made.
Air conditioning is very unreliable. It works some days it does not.
If approved, the funding would also go towards building a covered walkway between Liberty Elementary and the high school for safety and to protect teachers and students from weather conditions.
Would be a big improvement. The students walk across for special classes to go to lunch, and if it's raining, they get drenched.
The bond would also go towards fixing Liberty Elementary's roof and getting an elevator replacement. Whited says the elevator replacement is crucial for students with a disability.
For our handicapped students, since that is the only way that they can get downstairs if they take art, we only have one art teacher and she is located downstairs in the elementary, so that is their one access to get to that class.
Some of the funding would also go towards new early childhood spaces at Spring Grove, and the Gene Russell building would be remodeled for new special education spaces. These upgrades would not increase the mill levy. Reporting in Galena, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Now, the deadline to register to vote in Kansas was last night. And to learn more, you can visit our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Well, some good news for a Joplin Elementary School. Now, after 2 failed attempts, the Cecil Floyd Elementary School passed its inspection from the health department. Now, a week ago, we told you about concerns health inspectors had with the kitchen area of the school. Now, at the time, they cited contamination from mice. Now, yesterday's evaluation was part of a routine revisit. And spring wildflowers will bloom soon, and the Missouri Department of Conservation wants to help you recognize and appreciate some of that beauty that'll surround us. The Shoal Creek Conservation Education Center yesterday hosted its Colors of Spring program. Participants got the chance to make watercolor prints of native wildflowers.
We're going to watercolor some beautiful flowers, and we're also going to talk about our native wildflowers and how they're so beneficial for our wildlife and our pollinators. And it's a really great way to kind of introduce people to some of the things they can find blooming outside.
Now, participants also learned about some of the common wildflowers in southwest Missouri and how they benefit the environment. Well, still to come on KOAM News at noon, Mr. Food.
Over the years, we've made lots of desserts, but I challenge you to find one that's as rich and tasty as the ooey gooey one we're making today.
Plus, we have a rain-snow mix moving in later on this afternoon. I'm going to have those details right after this. Well, it's been windy all morning and temperatures have been plummeting as we head throughout the rest of the afternoon. Let's go ahead and take a look outside. Downtown Pittsburgh, you can see we've got these overcast skies, plus that camera is shaking because these winds are gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour throughout the rest of the afternoon as we see those winds are shifting now, getting out of the northwest. Again, still very strong wind gusts as this system starts to move in. We do still have a red flag warning for our counties out in Oklahoma, and that's until about 1 p.m. today, and then it falls off, and we just are left with our wind warnings and advisories. We've got a high wind warning for a few of our counties along the Kansas and Missouri border. That's including Pittsburgh, Joplin, Fort Scott area, and out there in Elk and Chautauqua counties, plus the rest of us under a wind advisory, both until 7 p.m. tonight. Now we're watching the overcast skies pushing in, so our cold front, and then a few showers just moving out of Wichita, and then bringing some rain and snow mix as well. So let's take a look. Now we're watching for a few of these showers to be pushing into the area closer to 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. And then after 5 p.m. we switch over to this little rain snow mix, and then over to just snow out in the Missouri side. Current temperatures, though, we're in the mid 40s, so we're just going to see these temperatures continue to drop down as we head through the afternoon. Our high for the day was in the 60s, upper 60s early this morning, and then those winds are still going to continue to gust as well. We haven't started to see any rain in our area, but we are watching for it to start to move in closer to Yates Center, and again, in about an hour or so, and then that pushes into the area. Temperatures by 3 p.m. dropping down again into the mid 40s to lower 40s, still not getting down to freezing as the snow moves in, but closer. Now by 5:30 to 6 p.m., heavier rain showers in the Joplin area just south of Pittsburgh as well. Switching over to that snow rain mix. And then after 8 p.m., we see a little bit more snowfall on the Missouri side, even down to Bella Vista, and then up in Yates Center, Iola, and the Fort Scott area. All clears out by about midnight, and then 1 a.m. we're left with overcast skies kind of sticking around until early Thursday morning, plus temperatures finally dropping down to around freezing early Thursday. And that just means that we're not likely going to see any of this sticking on the ground, but we are expecting a light dusting as this little path of that rain mix to snow pushes through onto the Missouri side. Heavier snowfall towards Springfield area, but with warm temperatures, warm road temperatures, the likelihood that we're going to see any of that stick is very slim. Now we've got calm winds for Thursday afternoon, but those winds pick back up by Thursday evening and into Friday morning, seeing winds again gusting 40 to 50 miles per hour, even pushing past 50 miles per hour. Now those are ahead of a dry front that's moving through. You can see our little shortwave trough. Not expecting any rain in the area, but that's going to be passing late Friday night. Another ridge and then thunderstorms popping up late Saturday evening and overnight and into Sunday morning. Now, not moving in until after around 10-11 p.m., so not expecting too much there. And then temperatures drop just slightly Sunday and Monday into the lower 60s before we warm back up to the upper 60s and 70s by the end of next week. So a couple of cold days today and tomorrow. And then we're back into the upper 60s by the weekend.
A chilly way to start off spring, but not too bad once you start looking at the week ahead.
A nice way to end winter.
Yes,
there we
how
go.
about that? All right, Lindsay, thanks. I'll stick around. We're making ooey gooey butter cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen. We'll be right back. Howard's making ooey gooey butter cake in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
A few weeks ago, our test kitchen team got together and we were talking about what types of recipes we should try. Well, Merle, our website editor, mentioned that something called an ooey gooey butter cake has been trending online and that we should check it out. So after a bit of research, we headed into the test kitchen and created our very own version. Let me show you how easy. We begin by mixing a package of yellow cake mix with an egg, along with some melted butter. Once that's mixed, we spread it into a baking dish. On top of that goes a mixture we threw together by creaming some powdered sugar, a couple more eggs, cream cheese, and a splash of vanilla. Now all we do is bake it off until the center is set. After it cools, cut it into squares, and are you ever in for a treat? You see, the bottom layer is buttery rich, and the top is almost like a creamy cheesecake. And when you eat them together, everyone will be asking for more. I sure hope you'll go online and get the recipe for our version of ooey gooey butter cake, so you can be up to date with a recipe that is very trendy. I'm Howard with Kelly in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen, where today we found a ooey gooey way for you to say, "Ooh, it's so good."
Well, you can, of course, find this recipe along with a lot more good food from the Mr. Food Test Kitchen online. Just head on over to our website. That's KOAMnewsnow.com. Now let's take a look at the 4-state market prices.
Well, it's been a windy day and it'll continue to be windy this afternoon. Plus, we have rain showers starting around 2 p.m. and then switching to a little bit of a snow mix later on this evening. Now, temperatures drop on Thursday, mid-50s, but sunny skies return, and then the wind comes back around Friday for a warmer weekend.
All right, Lindsay, thanks, and Dow, what do you have for us later on?
Lots coming up at 5. For starters, we're going to take a look at an effort by multiple government agencies looking to help make sure families have more options for safe, reliable, and nutritious infant formula. Plus, one Joplin business owner says she has concerns about how tariffs on China might impact her business and customers. She's reaching out to legislators to encourage them to help stop these tariffs. And we're going to have more on the expansion of the Family Resource Center in Pittsburgh. Hope you'll join us for those stories. A lot more, of course. It's coming up today, KOAM News at 5.
All right, Dell, thanks. And that's the news for now. Thank you for joining us on KOAM News at noon. Have a great rest of your day.